just what we'll do. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two.
Hey everybody, welcome back. And yeah, that was me singing there. And it's kind of funny because I've had people ask me, that's my voice and it's my song, but all the music that you heard, the instruments, was all done with the Suno AI. Isn't that cool? I'm having fun with that. Anyway, Tammy and I decided to take a ride today out to Stanton and do a little sightseeing as well as looking for some boondocking sites. We've heard quite a bit about Stanton over the years. In fact, we've probably passed by this little area right here several dozen times, and I've always wanted to come out here and check it out. So finally we got a chance to come out here. And I know I've heard that there's some boondocking along this road. This is Stanton Road, and there is a spot up here we'll pull off and check in a little bit and show you what it looks like. This is all BLM land. And the area that I found that I think is a pretty good little area for some boondocking is just south of the dairy farm as you come up the road here. So we'll pull off here and show you around there. It's a BLM, Hacienda BLM area. But you do need to be aware that there are some areas that are also state trust land. So you want to make sure you have those permits with you. The $20 family permit is what I usually get. And this road, you know, it's about 6.5 miles of dirt road, and most of it isn't really too bad. There are a few areas where you get washboarded, but really not too bad. Like some of the reviews I've read of folks that have been out here camping, they say just take it slow. But the weird thing is that there are some areas where there's pavement. You'll come across an area, a section of this road where it's paved. I don't know if you can see that, but like right there, there's a few areas that's paved. You know, to me, that's just strange because maybe sometime in the past, this road was paved, but over the years, it just kind of, you know, fell apart over the years in the rain and the wear and tear, and nobody's come out to upgrade the road or to repave it. So there are sections of the road that are paved, little small sections like you see right there where it gets real smooth, and all of a sudden you hit the dirt again. So if somebody knows about that, put it in the comments below if you know a little history of that road. I just have my suspicion that maybe 20, 30 years ago, this road might have been paved out to Stanton. And Stanton, I'll tell you a little bit about it before we get out here, and a little bit more when we get into town. But it's an interesting place. It's got a lot of history that I've been doing some research and checking up on it and tell you about when we get into town. It all dates all the way back to the 1860s. Yeah, 1860s. It was actually originally called Antelope Station. It was a stagecoach pit stop for stagecoach. Now, the area that we found, I'm going to pull off here in just a minute and show you around. This is the BLM camp area that I found. It's just south of the road, and it's on a dairy farm. There's a dairy farm on the other side. You'll see. Well, I just pulled off the Stanton Road there, I guess you're going to call that. I don't know what else it's called. Mine Road. And I found a spot here that is BLM. And it looks like some people have been out here before. As I see fire rings. There's a big fire ring right there. So we're just kind of wandering around here. There's another little spot right on the other side over there where you could boondock. And I have to find out whether you can still boondock out here or not. I don't see anybody here right now. But that doesn't mean you can't. It's BLM land, and this, if you just go another 100 yards or 200 yards, you run into state trust land. So we're going to kind of do a circle around in here and see what it looks like. So this looks like all the area where you can boondock on here. We're about 3 miles, 2.5 to 3 miles off the highway. It looks like it actually goes back a little farther. There's a big fire ring. And let me get my guy up here. Okay, we're still on BLM land, but it changes right up here. Right now, we just crossed over into state trust land. That's maybe what that little white post is for right there. Whoa! I just got bombed by a bug.
Wow.
Somebody's been back here because I can see the tracks. And it looks like there's a road to my left over there, or right. I see a trail. Do you see it?
Yeah.
It's like right over here.
Look where it says you're going on your map.
I see it, yeah. There's a little camp spot.
Oh, that's nice.
Somebody's been
I see it now. Yeah.
That could be telling us it's state trust land.
Gotcha.
I betcha. That would make sense. That gets a little bit rougher, right? What's
No
this?
trespassing. State trust land. Permit required. We have that.
Okay. Now, like I said a few minutes ago, there are places here where you'll cross right over from BLM land into state trust land. So just be aware of that. And there's some really nice little spots back here if you have a state trust permit. And it looks to me like people have been back here before. Like if I brought the quad trailer. Okay.
They look like nothing special.
Huh. Now I know what you're talking about. I don't know if that's a meteor. It's too smooth and polished. There's a little spot. We just found a little spot right there with the animal bones. Actually, anywhere right here.
Alright, here's Libyan desert glass. Gem.
Alright, down the road I go. Originally called Antelope Station, 1863.
A lot of books in there.
Gold. So 100 million in gold garnets. Wow. A library.
That scared me when I looked inside there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Look.
Looks like old like tombstone something. Oh my gosh, look at that. Haven't seen a payphone in a while.
I didn't even notice it.
That's the Opera House. Looks like more camping up there. Now I'll give you a real brief little history of Stanton. Originally it was Antelope Station. It was a stagecoach stop on the way up to Yarnell and Prescott. And there were some people who came out here in the 1860s. One of the explorers who came out here was Pauline Weaver. Bought some property, and she and several others started finding gold nuggets everywhere. They said as big as potatoes. Can you imagine that? And her 1 acre, she claimed, yielded nearly $500,000 in gold. And that was in $1860. So I can only imagine what that would be worth today, right? But the really interesting part was Mr. Stanton. He bought the store, changed the town's name from Antelope Station to Stanton, and he was kind of a crooked feller, I tell you what. There was a couple of gentlemen that were up here, living up here. He didn't like them. And he had them get into an argument. He deliberately started an argument between them over a pig, and the one feller shot the other, and then he hired a Mexican bandito to come and kill the other gentleman, thinking that, oh, now I got the whole town to myself. Well, supposedly the bandito, or the Mexican bandit, one of the bandits came back and killed him. But he was put on trial for murder, and the witnesses all got paid off, so he ended up getting scot-free. The story is, there's more to it than that, but if you want to check it out,
June 1st through October.
go online and look for Stanton, Arizona. Really interesting, 1863.
928.
But the town was active for a while. Then it kind of became a ghost town late around the early 1900s as population dwindled off. Then the LDMA, Lost Dutchman Mining Association, bought it several years ago and have been renovating it and turning it back into a campground as well as a tourist attraction. They do gold panning for kids and different activities like that.
He's real quiet, feller. Still reading his magazine.
Reading his magazine. Something here I read about the Saturday Evening Post back in the 1950s actually purchased 10 acres of the town, and then they gave it away during a radio contest, a jingle contest.
30 amp, 50 amp.
So the owners didn't know what to do with the
camping,
town, and they
electric
sold it off.
only.
So it's kind of exchanged hands
Where's the dry
over
camping?
the years.
Must
1976
be-
is when the Lost Dutchman
Can't
Mining
tell,
Association
maybe it's in the back.
acquired the property. And they put in a motorhome park, a RV park, with hookups. And look, you can get Amazon deliveries out here.
That's so cool.
Just a fun day. And couldn't have picked better weather, I tell you. 1886. And breezy today. Oh, this is where they do the panning. Panning station, yeah. Lost Dutchman Mining Association. Oh, how cool. Yeah, they got it all set up to do some gold panning out here. $1863.
Stanton Craft Road. They do little special projects.
Got your fixer-upper over there. I think this is Antelope Creek. Oh yeah, didn't even see that.
And it looks like there's a house down there by the windmill. Or ruins, anyway.
Yep. Now up that way is Yarnell. Little Picker Avenue. Gold Nugget Avenue. I have a feeling this might be the leaching field. There's the dump station right there. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little trip to Stanton, Arizona. Never been back here before. And I'll have to find out information I'll put on here for the RV parking. It's 6.5 miles off the main highway. 6.5 approximately, maybe 7. The road wasn't too bad. A little washboardy once in a while, but not too bad. And it looks like there may have been some boondocking in between somewhere, but I'm going to check on that because I'm not sure it is now. We'll pull off and see if there's any no trespassing signs. Anyway, safe travels wherever you're going. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Don't forget to share this, and catch us on the next video. Have a great day. Bye. Hey, welcome back everybody. I'm going to show you how to find Stanton, Arizona. If you're not familiar with the area, then stay tuned here. My directions take us from Phoenix up the 60, which we call Grand Avenue, goes through Sun City, and then turns into Highway 60. And eventually it turns into another highway up here, Highway 93. And the Highway 93 is one of the popular routes that people take to go on up into Kingman and Las Vegas. But you're going to turn right here north of Wickenburg. You're going to look for the turnoff to go to Congress. Now, last week's video, I showed you a little camp area that I explored right here near this little community of Flores. There's really nothing there. I don't even know how it wound up on the map as Flores. But that's approximately where that boondocking spot was that I showed on this road. I just call it a gravel pit road because there's this Weaver Mountain Fire and Aviation Center right there. So check that video out for another little possible boondocking spot. Also, we did a video a couple weeks ago on Congress up on Cemetery Road, just north of town. And it is about 90 minutes from Phoenix to Stanton. So you're going to give yourself a little extra time because you got this dirt road right here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And let me clear that. All right, you're going to see this road right here. is about I'm going to say 7 miles from the highway to Stanton, 6.5, 7 miles. And right in the middle here near is oh, it doesn't show on this map. Let me switch to satellite. There it is. Isn't that funny? It didn't show on the other map. But this is a dairy farm right here. And right across from the dairy farm is that little boondocking area that I found. This is all BLM land, except when you come down a little farther, it turns into state trust land. Let me switch to Gaia Maps and I'll show you what I'm talking about. See that blue line right there? That's my trip. And this is where we pulled off and drove all around in here. Now, this yellow area up here is BLM Hassayampa Field Office. This is BLM land. And just as you cross over a few spots, it turns into state trust land. And look at this. This Alvarado Mine Road keeps going and going and going. Now, if you have a state trust permit, I see no reason why you couldn't venture down this road a little farther and maybe find some nice little boondocking spots. Because it looks to me, by looking at the map, that there are some places down there you could boondock. Anywhere, just like anywhere else, it's a 14-day stay limit. State trust land is a little bit different because you're limited to so many days per year. But if it's BLM land, then you need to move somewhere else. I think the range is like 25 miles. That's what the specs say on that. But stay there for 14 days, stay limit, and then move to another spot. That's BLM rules anywhere else in the state. When you get to Stanton, this is all private land area. You see how it shows differentiates. So there are some mining claims, so you want to watch out for those. You don't want to wander around up this road, and a lot of these are still active mining claims. So there are trails that go up here. I think this is like a hiking trail that takes you up there. Isn't that neat? But in the old days, back in 1860, 70, 1880, 1890, this road, Mina Road, goes all the way up, and it's still there. I didn't take it though in the truck, but it does go all the way up into Yarnell right here. That's kind of a back way. Now I wonder if anybody knows this, put it in the comments below, but I have a feeling that at one day in the past, a long time ago, this may have been the only way to get through here to go up to Prescott. That would explain why Stanton was a stagecoach stop. Oh, I got that right. That would explain it. There may have been another trail that went up through Congress and came up this way. There's the Granite Mountain Hot Shots Memorial. I talked about that in a past video. But let's show you Stanton and talk about the RV area here. This is owned by Lost Dutchman Mining Association. Bought this back years ago, I want to say in the 70s, and have been converting it and upgrading it. They put in power. They do family outings here. They do a lot of activities that center around mining, which is kind of cool. So some of you might really find this interesting enough to even check into getting a membership. Let me just show you. I know there's a lot of campground memberships out there, but this is a unique one because you pay one flat fee. It's $2,000, and that's for a lifetime. They also have 12 exclusive locations where you can camp. Let me show you what some of those are. Stanton, of course, is one of them in Arizona. There's one in California, a couple of them in California, actually, Oregon. And you can look at it. All of this is on the website. Just type in Stanton or LDMA, the Lost Dutchman Mining Association, and Stanton, and it'll come up on here for their website. They have one in North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Oregon, and I think there's a few more too at the bottom here. Findlay, Scott River, High Divide, and Leadville. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Some of these are a little smaller, some of these are a little bit bigger. Let's show you what is at Stanton. 30-day refund guarantee, 6,500 plus members. So my understanding is that you pay the fee, you're a member. And then if you want to stay, I think I saw this somewhere, I'm going to double check, but it's $6 a night to camp right there. And you get RV hookups included. They have showers, they have clubhouses, dump stations, all that's included. bring up to 4 guests, family-friendly activities and settings and stuff. So they have a lot of activities that they plan for the kids and stuff, if you have grandkids, things like that. Really kind of cool things. So that's for your $2,000 membership for his lifetime, and then you pay $6 a night to stay there up to 6 months per visit with power hookups. You are a little bit remote, so you probably would have to make trips into town. If you're in Stanton, it's probably a half an hour trip back into Wickenburg. Or if you just need a few things, you could drive back into Congress, which is probably about a 15-20 minute drive. And if you have a vehicle that you're pulling, like a pickup truck that pull a trailer, or you have a toady behind you, like a small car or something, you could leave your motorhome there and then drive into town, get groceries. Most people just bring everything out that they can with them and stay there for a while. Like I said, you're about 40 minutes or so from Wickenburg, and maybe 20 minutes from Congress. So just kind of keep that in mind. Customize your membership. There's a lot of things you can do if you're interested. Let me just go ahead and show you I think I saw a phone number here somewhere. Let me go customize your, right there. There's the phone number. Customize your membership. You can actually get different packages to go along with that when you get your membership and stuff. And it's a 30-day refund guarantee. So kind of keep that in mind. I just wanted to run that by you. As far as I know, you can't go out there and just camp for like a day or two. At least not that I'm aware of. If you're thinking about that, I would call that number and ask them. They might let you come out and pay for a couple nights to get a feel of whether you like it or not. To me, that sounds reasonable. I would call them and ask them. Call this number and say, hey, my wife and I want to come out, or my husband and I want to come out, or whatever, your family, and say we want to come out for a couple of days, maybe a week, and then just see if it's something we might enjoy and like to do. That's my pitch for that. I'm not trying to help them out. They're definitely not giving me any money. So if it sounds like something you might want to do, check it out. But I thought it was pretty cool. I know there's a lot of different RV kind of memberships like that around. There's boondockers. There's also the harvest hosts and things like that a lot of people get involved in, which can be really cool. So this is a little different because you're doing they're all the kind of built around the mining experience. So hope you enjoyed this. Check that area out. If you get out there and you want to do a little boondocking, you can always boondock over there and then travel into Stanton and ask some questions and stuff. They're open during the week there. There's a little office there, as you saw in the video. So have safe travel wherever you're going. Be safe out there. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the little bell so you'll be notified when I put out my next video, when we're just getting ready to do some summer planning right now. Have a great day. Catch you later. Bye.